interactive haunts. Are you scared yet? Are you scared yet? Hey guys, we are back with another episode of Inside the Haunt Industry. I'm Jeremy. I'm Zach, and we're the Bloodshed Brothers. And in this episode, we're talking to you guys about interactive/extreme haunts. If you couldn't tell by the lovely intro, it was like it was like a haunt. You know it was going to happen.
I didn't. I didn't even pay for it. You just have to pay for action like that. We're talking about extreme and interactive haunts because they sort of go hand in hand often these days. So we're just going to throw out our opinions and things that we've experienced and things that we have actually done, like in our haunt, that have considered extreme and interactive. So going off of interactive haunts first, it has become a growing trend, especially here in Southern California, to have a little more interactiveness with your haunts. Knott's Berry Farm has been the biggest, or in the area for that. They have their skeleton key rooms to where you pay a little extra and you get front of the line. Half of their mazes have an extra pre-show room, if you will, that you get to skip the line, and then they have an extra little room that has to do with whatever the theme of the maze is, and then you get to walk in to the rest of the maze. Really, really cool. It's a good idea. So, for example, like for Knott's Voodoo Maze, for their skeleton key room, you get to go and you're part of like a voodoo ritual. Or like, for those that are familiar with our work, like we kind of did the same thing at the stadium, where if you got the VIP ticket, you got to be part of like an exorcism, or a tiki ritual, or sit on Santa's lap, or go through a porta potty where a hillbilly sprays poopy water in your face. But if you were a general admission, you did not get to experience these rooms. It can be as simple as your haunt is interactive or it isn't. I've seen a lot of stuff where, depending on the guest, your actor can be more interactive with them. And like when I act, if I'm talking to like a younger couple and they're having a good time, they're drinking a few beers or whatever, I will go mess around with them more and eat little stuff, like putting my arm around the girlfriend, or messing with the guy a little bit. Like engage your performance.
Engaging them, but I'm touching them, and I'm doing a little more than just talking to them. And so like we don't consider our haunt like extreme or interactive in that sense. Like our actors usually don't touch people, but I would say like based on the customer, and
so you can be interactive without billing yourself as an interactive haunt.
Yeah, I think it could be a big discretion thing. So in case you were like, oh, I don't want to have my haunt be an interactive haunt, but like if you trust your actors enough to be interactive in that sense and not make a big thing about it, like I don't see a problem with it. So we have experienced different levels of interaction in extreme haunts. From like Zach said, Knott's Skeleton Key, and they had their Trapped Maze a few years ago. When Rob Zombie was in town, he had a little interactive part of his maze where they put a little bloody X on your forehead, and that meant you could be like cussed at and touched. And 17th Door, that was full on interactive, pretty extreme as far as regular haunts are concerned. Personally, I am a fan. Like, the first time I went through something that was considered interactive/extreme was Trapped at Knott's, and just going through so many haunts, and it's always kind of the same thing, that walking into a room where the actor said, "What the are you doing in here?" I was like, yes, this is so much fun. This is the best thing in the world. Remember when we went to Knott's and they're doing lockdown still, and that guy nurse was like, "Hey, big boy," and like ran his finger down all the way to your belly button.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, so in that sense, I love it, and I think that's where the industry is going. Is people want to have the envelope pushed a little bit, because haunted houses are so much more these days than just people popping out of a corner and saying something and popping back in, or looking at a fancy prop. They want to be more messed with up here than anything. So I think that's kind of a good segue. 17 Doors, like the most extreme haunt we've done. That's a good segue into like just extreme haunts in general. Like Jeremy just said, we did 17 Doors. It was a lot of fun. It was actually, from what we heard, toned down from when we went compared to other nights, but it's still a lot of fun. But that's the most extreme we've done. We've never done McKamey Manor. Yes, we've heard of McKamey Manor. Stop sending us Facebook messages. We know. We know what McKamey Manor is. We've heard it. We live an hour north, of them. We know all about them. I mean, so my thoughts on McKamey Manor, because we know it's like a hot debated subject on the internet.
I remember McKamey Manor when it was just a normal haunt walkthrough. Like, I remember seeing I've seen the videos of it before it was an extreme haunt. Like, I've seen it. Like, we know, and we're friends with Russ of McKamey Manor. Like, you know, he's offered for us to come down and skip the wait list, and we've politely said no, thank you, Russ.
So here's my take on it. I don't want to go through McKamey Manor.
I don't want to either.
It's not something I'm super interested in going through.
Me either.
But that being said, my opinion, and you know, this may divide all of us, and let's have a healthy
Debate.
conversation down in the comments. My opinion is, I don't care how people are haunting, as long as people are haunting. I don't think there's anyone that is doing anything that cheapens or lessens what someone else is doing. And I kind of, earlier when Zach and I were talking about this, I use a Star Wars analogy. A lot of people hate the prequels, that they ruin the originals. No, they don't. I mean, sure, there's continuity errors, and we all know that, but it doesn't ruin something that's already established and good. So what?
Like, I can watch New Hope without thinking, like, you know, without being reminded of Episode 1. Like, it's
so it's like what Russ does, what McKamey Manor does not ruin what we did at the stadium.
No one had ever compared to saying, like, oh, I wish this haunted stadium was more like McKamey Manor.
Or because of McKamey Manor, I'm thinking less of what you guys are doing. If anything, like, the fact that McKamey Manor has got so much traction and so much publicity only helps the industry, I feel, as a whole, because now people are like, oh my gosh, there's this crazy haunted house, so now they're just thinking haunted houses. It's not a bad thing to be thinking haunted houses in that sense. I mean, so that's always been my opinion. Is it doesn't, so be like, it's not considered a haunt. It's like, and everyone has all their weird different definitions of what a haunted house is, and it's like, if
people have called our haunt not a haunt before.
Yeah, seriously. So I mean,
because it's at a baseball stadium. Like,
I mean, but at the root of it, it is a haunted house. People are paying or donating or whatever the circumstance may be to be scared, to have an experience that terrifies them. And that is, at the root of it, what a haunted house is.
Yeah.
At least in, you know, our industry.
Well said, Jeremy. I'm almost getting a little teary-eyed. So, end the episode. We have a clip, as we normally do. So, the last little bit of interactiveness, we actually have done an interactive haunt, like actually decided to do an interactive haunt. 3 years ago at the stadium, on closing night, we threw this big, like, open to the public Halloween party. All the actors went home. The ones that were over 18, the actors over 18 got to stay. And we opened up, the haunt closed at 11. We opened back up at 11:30 and stayed open until 2 a.m. And had a DJ and a bar, and all the actors that were over 18 got to go in one of the mazes, and we had one maze open, and we pretty much said,
go nuts.
We said, don't be racist. Don't make fun of something that the person can't fix on themselves or about them, but besides for that, the world is your burrito. And that's what they did.
Let me tell you guys, they went to Chipotle. They were cussing, touching, screaming, mounting people. I mean, just
mounting props and
the most vulgar stuff. And it was crazy experiencing it too, because especially like as haunt owners and as people that have been through so many different haunted houses, like, we build this maze, right? You do the sound, you do the lighting, and then how the actors, you know, how the actors fill it. You know, it's like we set up the skeleton, they give it the heart, essentially. How they fill it during all season. It was like, okay, I know the feel of Maniac Manor. It was an insane asylum. I know the feel of it. But then on Freak Show night, when it was now all these different actors and characters and the vulgarity of it, it felt like a different maze. It felt darker,
like,
and dirtier,
case in point,
grungier.
and I think this is the clip we're gonna put in. We had a little, like, kids ward room set up, if you will, so like dolls and a few beds, that kind of stuff, and some books and stuff. We had a few little girls in there when we were open normally, but for Freak Show, we had one of our clowns go in there, and he took off his clown costume and just was wearing a Solo cup. Just a Solo cup. So it made the room feel very different, considering he was doing things to the dolls.
Yes.
So yeah. But then the thing is too, everybody loved it. It was crazy how all these people loved it. I'd say maybe there was like 50, 60 people that showed up to this party. they would not stop going through the maze. And we were trying to like say, okay, the maze is closed because we wanted the actors to come enjoy the party since it was closing night and blah, 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 and have the actors come in, you know, interact and dance with all the customers after they went through the maze, but they kept on wanting to go through the maze over and over and over. It was crazy. So enjoy the clip of our freak show from a few years ago at the stadium, and you've been warned. Roll the clip!
Oh, what the f*** are you looking at? Never need some 2-year-old. Ow! Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Mom, don't look at me! Don't touch me! Hey, boys! Don't leave me! Don't do it! Oh my God!
Hey, and just so everyone's clear, this happens to everyone that walks in. This is not just me and Jeremy.
Hey, big boy! What's up? How you doing, buddy? Just good, that's it? Get on that bad boy! Get on that bad boy! Get on that bad boy! That's your fucking
Talk about for a minute, like, kind of some of the backlash that comes with getting more extreme, because we've experienced some of the backlash, too.
Oh yeah, we have this episode so chock full of goodies.
And I'm going to drop a little bomb on Zach that he doesn't know yet. So, like, kind of, I mean, not to the extent that McKamey Manor has seen it, but when we did last 2 years at the stadium, we did an exorcism maze, and the second year we did it last year, it was pretty extreme with just like the theming and the detail and what the actors brought to it. And we're talking like we had one actress who had a Bible and would just like rip pages out and just eat the Bible pages in people's face and call them sinners and like scamper away. And to us, awesome, loved it. That's exactly what we wanted. And Zach and I have always talked about since the home hunt days. We would love to do something that not necessarily offends, but gets us, like any publicity is good publicity, even if it means there's a church picketing our hunt. Like, we would love something like that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it happened. We had a guest come through, was super offended about everything in exorcism, even though, like, we wrote "Have a nice day" in Latin on the walls, or
we wrote nice things in Latin
or
on
like
the walls.
like literally, like fire, hellfire, she's turning me to sin. That's from Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney movie, and people were offended by that. So
all the Latin written on the walls, it literally said like "Have a nice day," you know, like "Will you marry me? I love you. Jesus loves you." Like nice things written in Latin, all up and down the walls.
But so we had a lady get offended, and it was put on like a page called Temecula Talk that has like 10,000, 15,000 people. It's all like basically where people in our area go to complain about things on Facebook. Our personal information was put in there, like, you know, message these guys, and then people started coming to the haunt being like, a guy commented, said like, I sent some of my youth ministers, and they were like ripping the Bibles out of the actors' hands to get them to stop, and it turned into this whole thing. Well, actually, 2 days ago, I went to, on, you know, Facebook, how the messages get filtered, I had a message.
I did too!
About a guy was like,
I just did that.
A guy, that's so weird that we both did it. A guy was like,
Is it though?
I need you to stop, you know, ripping Bibles. I feel so sad for you that you don't have the Lord in your heart and all this stuff.
Yep.
And it's not like, you know, we were raised Catholic. It's not like we don't understand what we were doing. Yeah, look, we totally just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
From my grandmother that she gave me like 2 weeks ago. Catholic Book of Prayers.
So it's like,
and it's not like it was like in the trash, it's over on the bookshelf.
So point is, you know, it's not like we knew what we were doing, and we were doing it to offend, and it worked. And it drew so much attention to us and to the stadium that people wanted to go and see the Bible-eating maze, or they didn't. And the point is that it was like, I'm sure even Russ is like, even though people have said some horrific things about him, it's still like, it's free publicity, it's good publicity. And in that aspect, I would keep doing interactive, I would keep having Bible eaters if it meant that sort of attention that we got. For Inside the Haunt Industry, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Zach.
And we're the Bloodshed Brothers. And let's have a conversation down below about the craziness of haunts.
Yeah, interactive haunts, extreme haunts, what's your opinions
What
on
have you
both
been
of
to?
them? What have you been to? What do you think about McKamey Manor? All that good stuff. So, as we say in our neck of the woods, stay scary. and we'll see you guys next time. But besides for that, the world is your burrito, and that's what they did.
Let me tell you guys, they went to Chipotle. Fire! They went to Chipotle. I mean,
that was so funny.
That was funny. Love Chipotle. So they